All cards have been revealed for the new expansion, Rise of the Floodborn. Lorcana's card set is doubling with 204 new cards, introducing the new keyword Resist and a ton of powerful effects. We'll be reviewing the cards today and giving them an egg rating. Here's our scale. Cards given a golden egg, I believe, will be part of a tier 1 deck, or would be considered a top tier staple for the color. These are cards like Stitch Rockstar, whose requirement to take advantage of is powerful without sacrificing consistency, or Maui, who is simply powerful enough to include in any Ruby deck. Cards given a silver egg, I believe, will be part of a tier 2 deck, or would be considered an optional staple for the color. Cards like Cusco fall here, where despite their power, they have never found a tier 1 deck. Cards given a bronze egg, I believe, are solid options in specific decks, but either lack the outright power or the support needed to truly shine. Ariel fits here, although with the new item support, it might be her time to shine. Then we have the white egg for all the rest of the cards. I'll be placing most all of the vanilla cards in this category with a few exceptions. I'm also clumping together shift lines. We've reviewed Amber and Amethyst, now it's time to take a look at Emerald. Rise is giving us a solid discard package. There's a lot of options for the deck, but a lot of the cards we want are uninkable. I think the best discard deck revolves around Prince John. His ability to turn Sudden Chill and Hypnotize into card advantage can be backbreaking for many decks. His ward makes him difficult to interact with, but as long as Amber Steel is the best deck, Prince John will have a rough time. Because he's the only real substantial payoff for all the discard cards, the deck lacks consistency as well. Because of that, John's getting a silver egg along with Hypnotize. I thought Archer Bell was grossly good initially, but without a 2-drop bell to shift onto it, we're relying on other ways to get her out early. As a 5-cost card, there are certainly situations where she's powerful, but Emerald is stacked with 5-cost options. She gets a silver egg along with Lucifer for the same reason. Daisy stands out from the rest of the discard cards the same way 2-cost Flynn does. Daisy and Flynn both do a great job of pressuring hand size and shine on the draw. It's nice having cards that feel good going second in this game where going first is a huge advantage. The big question between silver and gold here is, will there be a tier 1 Emerald deck? I really like the impact of cards like this, Flynn, and You Have Forgotten Me in a best of 1 format. If A Whole New World wasn't here, I would say for sure, but I'm still going to give Daisy a gold egg. The only Emerald deck she might not fit in is Amethyst, where she's competing with Goat and Rabbit. Belle, Gaston, and Flynn round out the discard package. Jasper saw plenty of play as a 3-cost 2/4 with upside, and Belle could have more potential, but we live in a whole new world, and she's uninkable. She gets a bronze egg as an option for the discard deck, same with Gaston. I would put Flynn there as well, but he has potential in a deck built around the Queen. Her ability to discard Flynn and gain 4 lore can put on a ton of pressure and helps us empty our hand against A Whole New World decks. They both get a silver egg, as I think this will be a solid tier 2-ish strategy. There's another small kind of package with Action Matters cards in Pete and Donald. I don't think Donald makes the cut, but he's a fine option, so he gets a bronze. Pete, though, might be my top pick for Emerald this set. It's easy to play 2 actions in a turn without needing to build your deck around it. Questing for 4 is a ton, and Ward makes this really difficult to interact with. Being inkable pushes this over Cusco for me as the best 5-cost for Emerald. I'm giving this a golden egg as well. I'm throwing Improvise in this package too, as a 1-cost cantrip with upside. It's hard for me not to give a gold to any cheap effect that also draws a card. Let's jump to the rest of the Floodborns. We've got Cheshire Cat with a strong ability to banish damaged characters attached to an evasive body. The other Cheshire is playable, but this lives in an awkward spot. Cheshire wants to be paired with Steel to get the most out of his ability, but Steel has a very powerful top end of its own. I'm giving these a bronze because of that. I'll jump to Beast while we're talking about the Emerald Steel deck. Beast has some combo potential with Steel's damage cards, but is generally just a solid top-end finisher of its own. You can trigger his effect in quest or challenge multiple times just playing the game. I'm giving him a silver egg. Our next shift is Donald Duck. While his ability to draw is also giving your opponent a card, you get access to the card first, making this a solid source of cards for Emerald. I think the best home for Donald is in Steel Mill, which I think continues to be a solid tier 2 strategy. I'm giving him a silver egg. On to the rest of the characters. Arthur is just vanilla white egg. Bucky is lacking a critical mass of cheaper Floodborns to trigger his effect. He gets a bronze egg. Dr. Facilier is too expensive for Emerald decks right now. He gets a white egg. Enchantress is a solid aggressive threat, and Emerald wants another good 2-drop to play beside Flynn. She's a solid option and gets a bronze egg. Flynn might see some play with his shift as a fine 1-cost card. I'm tempted to give him a white, but it's not hard for a 1-cost to make it in a list, so he gets a bronze egg. Little John is a vanilla white egg. Pain is another fine 2-cost card. His stats are beefy enough to survive, and I can see him questing for 3 often enough in a Sapphire deck, so he gets a bronze egg. I don't think Panic fits in that deck though. Uninkable cards need to have bigger impact, especially when looking at all the uninkable options Emerald has. White egg. The Queen gets a white egg as well for the same reason. Uninkable matters less on cheaper cards that you plan on playing in the early game anyway, but the Queen isn't good early. Radagon is too weak to steal, white egg. Ray competes with the rest of Emerald's powerful 5-cost cards. I think I'm favoring some of the other options though and giving Ray a bronze egg. Tiana and Varana get a white egg for the same reason. Emerald got just one item with Radagon's Marvelous Trap. I wouldn't play this card if it was inkable, white egg. On to the rest of the actions we haven't talked about. Bounce is great in the Amethyst Emerald deck, returning your Merlin cards to get their effects while getting an opponent's character off the board. It gets a silver egg for that. Pack Tactics is close to really good and fits with the Emerald Steel cards we talked about earlier. I think Ring the Bell goes in the same deck, but I don't think that deck breaks into tier 2, so these both get a bronze egg. We're only getting one song in Emerald in Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. This card is really close to broken, being able to turn early shifted characters into powerful cards of the same cost. But you can also return a genie to your hand and replay it, as once a card changes zones, it can no longer be tracked as the same card and now counts as another card for Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. I'm giving it a silver egg, but can see this card getting cracked. That's it for the new Emerald cards. Let me know in the comments below if you think I misevaluated any of these, and give me your top 5 from the set. I'm sure after the meta settles there will be some hits and misses. If you want to hang out and chat, or have any suggestions or questions, you should join the Discord. Thank you so much for watching. Have a magical day.